we started this really powerful circle. I can already feel the energy. It feels really exciting to me. And yeah, I've been enjoying leading women's circles, moon circles, for since like the beginning of the pandemic. I started like shortly after there on Zoom. And yeah, and then I just recently started offering another type of circle, the Shumash traditional women's cleaning ceremony. And so I'll be incorporating some different elements, some of those types of things into this, which is meant to be an empowerment circle for women entrepreneurs. So yeah, we decided to grow and expand the college. So that's how I'm going to start with inspiring, just kind of clear the energy. And so you can all join me in closing your eyes. If you if not, let's certify to just what. And I just like to say a little prayer of thanks. Thank you to Creator and Mother Earth and Sage Spirit for this beautiful healing tool. Please help us use this now to clear our auras of any old, stale, negative energies, making way for new, fresh energies of positivity, love, light, peace, joy, unity, oneness, harmony, healing, gratitude, abundance, and prosperity. So I'm going to invite you to take some nice deep breaths as I walk the smoke around and just feeling any old energies just drifting away now. Take 3 deep breaths together. Go ahead and place your right hand over the center of your chest and your left hand over your low belly. And we'll begin by exhaling, letting all the air out. Take a nice deep inhale. Opening the mouth. Ah. 2 more. Deep inhale. Ah. 1 more. Ah. The eyes closed. Letting the hands rest down in the lap, wherever's comfortable for you. Having the palms facing down on the knees is good for grounding. If you'd like to receive energy, you can have the palms facing up, or you can use any particular mudra that you'd like to use. We'll just sit here and tune into ourselves and bringing to mind your path as an entrepreneur. Everything that you've come across so far, all of the obstacles that you made it through. And bringing into focus now your most empowered version of yourself on this entrepreneurial pathway. What does it look like to you to be in your fullest expression? And now noticing anything that's standing in the way of that, or other obstacles on the pathway that you need to overcome, to be in your power fully. Just noticing without judgment of good or bad, just letting things come to the surface. Back into your body now, to the space. Feeling the weight of your body on the comfort and supports underneath you. Taking another deep breath into the heart. Bring the palms together to rub. Creating some heat. And slowly come to stillness in front of the heart center. Another deep breath here into the heart. Always been for being here. Right, whenever you're ready. Go ahead and open up the circle for sharing. This is our amazing talking set. Yeah, you can also use it like that. So yeah, we can just go around and introduce ourselves and say what it is that you do and where you're at in your entrepreneurial journey. And yeah, then anything you'd like to share from your meditation, what came to for you. Anybody like to start us on? Burning to talk.
It's really complimentary on all of the other pieces. I'm going through a lot of identity restructuring actions, and it's interesting to introduce myself in that place. But I am stepping to Nara, and happy full moon in the Libra. I myself in Libra moon, so it feels like the release aspect of the full moon is like pertinent and up on the surface for me. I feel like one of the through lines of my work is to help people come back to a sense of harmony within themselves with how they view their energy systems, their purpose, their mission in the world, along with how nature and this planet that we all share in common holds those keys and those teachings. I really love to acknowledge the ancestors that I come from. On my matrilineal side, I come from a lineage of women that nourished with food, cooked for their families, worked with crafts and made jewelry. And they are Panamanian, of Panamanian descent. And then on my patrilineal side, they are of European descent, French, and also currently the most recent part of my lineage living in Maine. And they are a line of people that are teachers and philosophers and builders, carpenters, nurses, and I reflect on them often. And I feel like right now I'm like kind of zooming out about what my work is, and I often come back to the lineage that I come from, and I myself find commonalities with them in the way that I entered through the field of mental health, and my background is in psychology, and I studied peaceful psychology in grad school. at CIS, if you know that school, it's like Hogwarts school, I love it. And I am an astrologer and I practice the Akashic records and channeling, and very much all about remembering those kinds of practices of like knowing thyself and sourcing truth from within oneself versus from just, external sources. So yeah, right now I call myself an integrative counselor. I'm not a licensed counselor, but that's kind of things like a counseling kind of dynamic. Read charts. I also love to teach about the Akashic records, and I feel like my work is evolving right now, but that is what I do right now and what I'm passionate about. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. From our familiar faces and but I feel like, yeah, being in these kinds of circles, it really helps just by like being present, anchored in newness and fresh energy into our work. So I'm happy to be here.
I'm not that usually yet, but she'll get talking. I have a energy viewer, and I will kind of my niche to quantum energy healing is what it's called. And so I'm feeling a lot of things connected to the father, and I feel like this year it came in hot and, boot camp style. And so, it's been a lot, but I'm really excited to work through it, which is different than the past years, and, what has been in my way was self-worth, limited beliefs around my worth, and I don't know much about astrology, but I know I'm getting to know some things, and according to my placement with Chiron, it has a lot to do with my self-worth in this life. So if we started that last week, and so I've come so far, and I'm just really excited to where I'm going. I've noticed that the more I allow myself to be seen, the more rewarded I am. And when it comes to women, this is new for me. Kind of a women's circle, kind of allowing myself to be present, feminine more, connect with the feminine more, because I've always tried to get out there and take masculine action when it was completely against my nature. So I just in the present moment and stepping forward and allowing myself to be seen. My gift was activated in 2018, and it took me a while to really answer the call. And here now. That's all for today.
So my name's Connie. So I currently own a business called CANDICE. I'm certified trauma informed breathwork facilitator, and also graduate on Tuesday for my certification in psychedelic therapies and integration. So super excited about that. I think right now in the business, having a hard time with how, like, I have all these modalities, like I'm a Reiki master, the breath work, I have all this, new teachings and psychedelics, which is ultimately my passion, but with the legalities of it, I feel like I can't just like fully jump into it. Be like, hey, you know, don't take mushrooms with me. You know? And so I'm just trying to figure out like what my offering is in a way, that like people can understand, because when people still ask me what I do, I'm like, well, I do a lot of different things, you know? And I mean, the one goal is that bringing them back to themselves, but it's so like multifaceted, you know, whether it's inner child, current sport, or doing breath work, just expanding on joy or anything like that. And so I'm just like trying to figure out how to not, I guess almost not look so messy in a way, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to come across with just like have all these things and like throw it at people and they're like, whoa, 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 like what is it that you do? You know? And so I think that's where I'm at with my business, but I'm super excited because I'm doing the retreats. And that's slowly growing. I do like the body retreats for women, where they go with breath work and that personal, like getting in touch with your body, stuff like that, like away, like in the glamping setting, or we're going to Tulum at the end of the month. So yeah, it's all super exciting, but there's still that like sense of like kind of scared, you know, like I'm definitely a lot more like on the path of like having faith in the unknown, and like I get excited about the unknown, but there's still that like smidgen of like, if I could just kind of see what's gonna, you know, like if I could just get a little bit of like the recipe of what I'm supposed to be doing, versus like trekking through the dark and being like, okay, like I'm just grabbing all these things and like, it'll all form at some point, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at. Overall excited, but just trying to like, I guess, niche it down, because it's so hard, like in our like world. I feel like it's so many modalities are so amazing. So like you should like want to see it, you want to do that too. You know, like, oh, I want to learn about that too. So, that's fun. Wait. Hi, so Margaret, I'm Corinne. Welcome. Thank you. We're passing the amethyst baton.
Oh, cool. We're just going around talking right now about, well, our name and, what we're doing. Wherever you're at.
Are you zooming? Are we zooming?
I don't think anybody's on here, but
Are you recording?
oh, no, there is somebody. There is somebody. Hi, Allie.
Hi guys, good to see you guys. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Yes, Jada, the afternoon, I think I'm the meeting, the automatically. And then I'll just go back and pick up the video and at the beginning. Yeah. Unless things are. And you were just like,
Yes, so I'm Chiara. I'm originally from Italy and I'm a yoga teacher. And I love yoga, but specifically I'm like a Ashtanga teacher, really love Ashtanga. And what I love more about my job is like, of course, like bring healing into people, but I love to see their satisfaction when actually they reach a pose or when the pose heal them, and I love that. And where I'm at now, I can relate a lot with you because I also organize yoga retreat in Italy, And it's growing. I have a lot of excitement, but I'm also scared. Me too, I would love to see what's going next. And it's a lot, it's intense because it's exciting, you're scared, but at the same time you really want to do that. So you want to bring all of the idea in the words, and sometimes it's kind of messy. And you need to step back and see like, okay, that's what I want to do, but I can do this. So I'm in that spot now where like everything is exciting but also scary. So I'm a little bit confused. But I know there will be something that waits for me at the end of this confusion. And personally, I love to be here because I can really with you too. I grew up with boys, but I feel like this feminine energy inside me. So this is new and I need it now because I kind of having problem with all the boys in my life. And I don't know why it's happening all together. Maybe it's a sign that I need to bring more of my family energy and work on that. And meet also more interesting women, more stronger women that can help me and guide me in this, let's say, messy path. So yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity to be here, and thank you.
This is awesome. Way to set up.
Great, leveled up. She's an OP circle member. Yeah.
This is so pretty. Oh, I feel so good to be here. I just already walked in. I was like, oh, I'm coming home. I'm feeling at home. Like I'm feeling grounded. So one thing, I'm still on my 9 to 5 grind. But I keep hearing like mess, like I keep thinking, like for me, my ultimate goal is to have a program where I help women who have been in toxic relationships find self-love again. And I'm working with a coach now. And we've been doing, and I've worked with a lot of coaches, and I always find something that comes out of it that benefits me, that is, leading me down this path. I've had to do a lot of unraveling just with my mindset, because I've had a lot of limiting beliefs that I've come up against that I'm like, wow, should I be a coach, or what is my message? And they always say like your mess becomes your message. And I feel like with me, it's really like romantic, intimate relationships where I find I have to do most of my work. And what I found whenever I hire a coach, I always come back to like that self-love and that self-care that is so important, that I think women, we think it's like sometimes selfish, or we get told from the outside that it's, that it's selfish, or that, you are just yesterday, somebody was like, said something to me because I went and got a facial, and I'm like, no, that is self-care, that is part of self-love. And I think that this, there's like this perception that that's superficial, or it's changing, but I still feel like there's that, a lot of people don't understand sometimes. So especially women, like my story is like, I've had a lot of codependency. I've had, relationships where I kind of like lose myself in the relationship. And so I just went to Costa Rica this last summer, and I started doing somatic breath work. And one of my pillars that I want for my program is breath work. And I'm so blessed to have an amazing facilitator who has helped me, who in the community really, dive more deeply into somatic breath. I think it's like so important, because you can do all the work with your mindset, and you can break through those limiting beliefs that are like holding you back from really, stepping out of you know, that 9 to 5 that I've had, I've been conditioned to believe that I have to keep it, and I have the benefits, and I have a paycheck every month, and it's safe, but yet, you know, it's all kind of a big lie. And I was so close to getting out of it after COVID because I thought that they were gonna make me get vaccinated. And I was like, nope, that's where I draw the line. So but thankfully it all worked out. So I just trusted, and I just kept kind of just going, and I was like, we'll just see what the universe has, you know. And it, you know, I'm still there, but I've been able to, through COVID, actually has really brought me back to myself. Like I was able to kind of like take a step back and really realize what's important to me. And through this journey, it's led me up to now. And so I'm still working on, you know, building that business. There's so many layers, as you guys know. Like building a program, you think it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like launch my program, and it's not that easy. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like there's funnels, there's a thing, and it's like, you know, there's so many different layers. But I'm on the path. It just feels really good to like be here with other women, and I know I have to spend time with other women entrepreneurs, and I'm so happy, Lily, that you have this, because I was looking for this, and it's, you know, you just have to kind of like put it out there, and it's like, you know. So anyways, I'm really grateful. And yeah, was there, I missed the first part. Was there anything else that you were sharing, or like topic or anything? Corinne, thank you. And what was your name? Candice, because I saw you at the event on Saturday. Candice, I haven't heard, what was your name?
I'm Stephanie.
Stephanie, nice to meet you. Has everybody talked, or? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, I didn't know if everybody's sorry.
Oh, this is beautiful. So my journey, I'm right along with most of you where it's like, yeah, it's been a little messy trying to describe what I do, because sometimes I'm just like, I'm a Jill of all trades. Like, what hat would you like to see today? I started my journey as an herbalist, and I started that journey about 20 years ago, and I started my journey in college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I took my first herb class, and I left that class after 1 hour, and I was like, I'm gonna do the rest of my life. I'm gonna be an herbalist. I love plants. So I changed my degree to business. I got out of HSU, and I went and studied herbalism, and life has just been an amazing journey since. A journey of a lot of growth. I didn't really realize what I was getting myself into on this path, but it's been a blessed journey. After herbalism, I had a child, and I really struggled with my health. I got Hashimoto's. And so I went really deep with my my own research, and I just studied from every person I could study from. I purchased every program I could afford. And I just dove really deep into nutrition, I became a certified fermentationist. I started working on microbiome health, studying epigenetics, studying neuroscience, the power of our thoughts, because I knew it was just so much more. Like, my health was so complicated, and I really had to address all my childhood trauma. And so once I became a parent, it was very evident to me, the ancestral trauma. I did so much work on myself, but I was so constantly triggered by my kid that all of a sudden I started becoming a person who didn't feel like it was me anymore. And that's when I really started like, okay, I've got to start doing this deeper work. And I was doing a lot of energy healing work. I'm very much naturally, I've been reading energy since I was a child. I didn't know it. I've been hearing plants talk to me since a child, and I didn't really, I used to be like, no, what a crazy girl. And so it's like, I've always had these inherent gifts, but I was too ashamed to acknowledge them and own them, right? And really embody them. And so I was always been very drawn to energy healing. And so I've always have studied it for over 20 years. It's been a big part of my learning, but it wasn't very formal. So then I formally started studying energy medicine through Donna Eden, and that's how I discovered tapping. And that started about 5 or 6 years ago. And tapping, EFT, emotional freedom technique, if you guys are familiar with tapping, completely changed the journey into more growth. So instead of me just feeling like I was stuck in this perpetual cycle of anxiety and brain fog and fatigue and stress, I finally was able to do a lot of integration and deeper work. And tapping changed my life. So I decided when I've been wanting to do it for about 3 or 4 years now, but the program was just a little too expensive for me to be able to afford because I had to travel to go to these 4-day, 2-day workshops. And I'm like, oh man, traveling out of Humboldt County. Not only is this a $4,000 program, but I'm going to have to spend like another $5,000 traveling and lodging, you know. So it felt so unattainable to me to become an EFT practitioner until COVID hit, because then everything went virtual. I could see the program. Oh, this is attainable for me, right? And so I embarked on that journey, and I decided it was very hard to do herbalism, fermentation, mindfulness, Tai Chi, Qigong. I didn't even mention that. I became a Tai Chi and Qigong instructor. That got thrown in my lap because my teacher retired, and she's like, Candice, you're a great teacher. You'd be great at this. You should do it. I'm like, okay. Yeah, so then I started teaching Tai Chi and Qigong. So it's like, yeah, when I started managing 3 businesses, I had my herbal business, I had my Tai Chi business, and I had my fermentation business at that time. And it was so exhausting that it actually interfered with my health. And then it interfered with my relationship, although there was a lot of stuff going on with my relationship. But my self-worth was the big thing I had to tackle. So coming back to self-worth, coming back to love and acceptance and compassion and grace. And so that was my whole journey this last year. I separated from my son's father in summer. He'd been cheating on me for many years. And so there was a lot of resentment because I felt like he was holding me back. So here I was, I kept doing all the inner work. I was doing aromatic shamanism. I was doing ancestral healing. I was doing all this integration, parts work, inner child work. And then I had this person who was just like shaming me, making me feel bad for having to do the work. And he wasn't addressing his own childhood trauma, and he was projecting a lot onto my son and I. And it took me going through a really big emotional downward spiral of me having to really sit through and tap and tap and tap and meditate and journey and ask the plants and ask the guides and ask the angels. They all kept telling me I had to get rid of him in order to really embody my self-worth and be the hero that I was meant to be on this planet in this life. So that was a big thing. And then my brother died. So this last year was like a good 6 months without work. My son's emotional health started spiraling. And because he was struggling with school, and the school wasn't supporting him. And my 9-year-old actually started talking self-harm. And so this last year was my year of the deep, deep shadow work, the deep integration. But now I'm the phoenix rising out of the ashes. But of course, once again, it's the uncertainty of the unknown, and I'm just trusting and surrendering. But for the first time in my life, I feel like I actually know what that feels like, to trust and to surrender. And it's such a releasing feeling to just, I can just surrender into the unknown. So it's been a very tough journey, especially the last year in particular, but especially this full moon energy. In fact, I'd love to share meditation with you if you're interested. Just bringing in that Libra full moon balancing energy right now with the Aryan creative fire has been very profound. So I just feel like this last week has been an amazing opportunity to really just like step in, continue to release. I've released so much this last week, and I'm very excited for what's to come. Yes. I know, I feel like I keep talking, but I prefer. Thank you. Thank you. And
Well, we will be talking more in a little bit, because Candice is our featured woman tonight. I'll be having a featured woman each time to really showcase someone's work and yeah, dive more deeply.
And I took mental notes on all of our things, so we'll be addressing this stuff.
And I definitely resonate with what you were saying about being so into all the different modalities and like, what is my thing? Like, what am I doing here? You know, and I recently discovered my thing. So that's really exciting. Yeah, because I've been leading, you know, these circles, and I was really into yoga and meditation. That was how I helped myself heal. And so that felt like I need to share this with everybody. You know, I need to share this. Everybody needs to do yoga and meditate every day. But anyway, and then so it was really that was preparing me for the connection to my intuition, which is what I needed to do the work that I'm doing. I needed to be super clear. I needed to be energetically open and clear and connected to my higher self. And I formed a relationship with my spirit team. And that's how I have uncovered what I'm doing here. And so, yeah, I was calling my work hypnotherapy for a while because that's what I was really drawn to study and to figure out how to do. And then, but I'm not a hypnotherapist. I realized like after I started doing the work and got pretty deep into it, I was like, wait a minute, this is actually not, I'm using a hypnotherapy induction to help the client get into the trance state, but it's not traditional hypnotherapy. So I'm doing, so it's called quantum soul alchemy is what I'm doing. And so basically I help people to get into the hypnotic state, and we go through the chakra energy system in the body, and people can see and feel different things that are stuck in there energetically. So cord attachments, dark entities, blockages just of different sorts. So it's been really fascinating, really interesting, and it's very much shamanic journey is really what it is. And so I knew that, but I just had that confirmed by my friend Allie, who well, she's a channel for the spirit teams to come through her. So she doesn't claim that it's her that's doing the work. But anyway, so I just had a session. She does amazing healing sessions where she does body work and channeling. Yeah, she's still there. She's just listening. Yeah, so she also just has transitioned recently into just doing channeling sessions, like through Zoom, without the body work. But anyway, she's amazing. And so in the session that I just had with her, because my husband and I bought a massage table so that I could give him massages because he's a landscaper and his body's always really sore. And when I gave him the massage, I was like, it like felt like I knew what I was doing. Like I was like, this is weird. Like it like activated something in me, and I was like, because that's how I've become to know like that I need to explore something, is that I just have this like deep burning feeling of like, yes, like do that. And that's what happened with hypnotherapy. Anyway, so this massage happened and I was like, I know what I'm doing somehow, like, and anyway, and then I started realizing that I could incorporate, like I felt intuitively like I was like moving energy. And so then I was like, oh, I could use the massaging as like at the beginning of the hypnotherapy session to like help the person relax and also clear their energy, which I wasn't telling them that I was doing, but whatever. Anyway, and so I gave my friend a massage, and she was like, are you sure you didn't train? And also like, whoa, because she said that she like went to another like realm in the astral plane. Like she wasn't, I don't know, just she's super tapped in. And so anyway, so in the session that I had with Allie recently, I was like, because you can ask questions as she's doing the channeling, like for your higher self and your spirit team and all that. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, what is this actually? What am I actually doing? And this shaman came through, and it was me in a past life. I was a male Native American shaman, and it was so crazy. I was like, oh. So that's where these activations are happening. Like when I'm doing those things, it's like I'm remembering, like my soul's like, yes, like this is your work. Like, so the hypnotherapy that I'm doing is like in the sessions when I started doing it, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I just like intuitively started realizing like, oh, people can see things in their chakra. Like I didn't learn that anywhere. And so I intuitively started helping them use the white light to breathe them into the body and to release these blockages. So it's all been like intuitively led and guided, and the only training that I did was just like how to do the inductions, and the rest of it is like my connection to my spirit team, like helping me know what to do. So that's been really crazy. And my lessons have been like listening to myself and trusting myself, and like, yeah, because there's a lot of self-doubt that I've had to overcome. And also like, I don't know if imposter syndrome is the right term, but something about feeling like, wait, but I haven't trained, like people aren't gonna take me seriously, or there's like this feeling of like, but I'm not certified in this, like, which you don't have to be within service in California, by the way. But which is kind of crazy. But anyway, so that's been a huge obstacle, is like just that knowing, that like inner knowing that like what I'm doing is valuable, and like I can trust myself and I can do this work even though I don't have those things. That's a huge thing that I'm also feeling like I'm here to reflect to everybody else that's on this journey, is like, don't worry about it. Like trust yourself. I don't know. That's just a big thing that I feel like is a message for me to share. Because that's one of my biggest things that I've had to do personally. And yeah, so I just talked a lot. Yeah, and I'm just so excited to be doing this group, and yeah, it's so powerful for us.
Can you talk about how you and the two ladies heard of this? I'd love to hear that. I haven't heard that story yet.
Oh yeah, totally. Thank you for asking. That's a huge part of the path too. Forgot about that. Yeah, so it actually started with the circles. So that's kind of funny. Because so I started doing the whole circle. I started doing circles during COVID, and they just kind of transformed, and then I started doing them. They were on Zoom at first, and then we did them in person in my house, which was amazing because we would have fires outside, and it was awesome. And then it started to get the rain season, and we moved inside. And then I moved to a different house, and I couldn't do them there. And then I was super pregnant. I had a baby. But the last. Okay, so, this is also crazy. The whole story is really crazy. So I met Monique, who is one of the women who is a co-owner here. I was teaching a class at Well Studio, and the last class that I taught before the pandemic happened, and I was like, nope, not gonna deal with the math. The last class I taught, she and her husband came to that class, and we like became friends. And so that was synchronistic. And then the last moon circle that I did at my house before I moved, Chazelle came to do a sound healing for us at the circle. I have a chill. It's just funny how that all happened. So the three of us, like, something happened when we got together. It was like that magic happened, and we just, I don't know. We also, a lot of the women who had started coming to the circles that I was leading, I realized we're all healers of different sorts, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. A lot of mothers also. And so, so we were kind of talking as a group, like, it would be cool if we had a place where we could all, you know, rent together and share our gifts and, you know, have sessions with each other and do classes and do the circles. And so that's how it started. And but for some reason, me and Monique and Giselle were the three ones that were like, all right, we're going to do this. Like, let's actually do it. Because a lot of people were talking about it, you know. So we found the place in McKinleyville, and yeah, it just happens very quickly and very magically and very much like guided by source with yes. And then yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Me too.
that's the interesting thing about our journey together is that we weren't like, let's open a yoga studio, you know, it wasn't like that. It was not intended to be a business. So that's been an interesting thing to navigate, especially as friends, very new friends too. But yeah, so yeah, I just feel like that's how it happens though, you know, like that's the spirit led work is like, spirit is like, you're gonna do this now.
Right.
You know, it's
So
just.
you're like,
Totally.
blindly walking through that.
But it's so exciting to be circled up in this particular way. This is the very themed, structured like thing that we're doing here. And it feels really powerful. And it's very, I've just realized through doing the circles that there's something magical about women coming together with their guard down to support and to uplift and to heal each other. Because seeing each other talking and we are feeling good about what you're saying and sending you back that positive energy. It's just like, it's so magical and it makes me so happy. I'm gonna see if Ali wants to pop in and talk about her amazing stuff. Ali, are you there? Can you hear me?
Timing, yeah, thank you. Yo, Amelia, thank you so much for that free shout out right there. Like, totally
Yeah,
talking about
the
it.
talking stick. Oh, I could have my volume up. That would be helpful. Are you there?
Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Yo, thanks for that shout out, Amelia. Oh, sweet. Cool. So, I'll make this quick, but let's see, I've been in Humboldt for about 6 years now. I've been doing body work for 19 years, and I stumbled onto metaphysical channeling about 8 years ago, I believe is when I started. And then probably just in the last year, I've been doing just virtual metaphysical, but I've also do body sculpting and post and prenatal sessions because I'm a doula and just all the things, right? Like the jack of all trades. That's like the theme of our lives, right? I feel like we have so many to move us like through whatever we need to at the time. Becoming a doula actually helped me heal my own personal birthing wound with my daughter. But then I get to help so many people from that and the knowledge, like from my experience and then having the knowledge. So it's super dope and I love it. I'd say the thing that you asked in the beginning is like what we felt was in our way, right? Is like putting ourselves out there and being authentic in who I am, because you know, I feel I feel a little judged sometimes by the way I talk or and how I look. A white girl with dreadlocks in Humboldt County is a little unique. And the way I talk, it always made me feel super self-conscious, but I'm, you know, was raised in foster care in Alameda County. So like, Oakland, you know, but now I feel like I've worked through so much of that and I'm like, okay, I'm out here, I'm being me, I'm doing all the things, I've done all the work. And I've still felt, especially after traveling for, 9 months and coming back, I still felt like, man, where's all the people I'm supposed to be helping? Like I literally want to devote my life to serving humanity and healing their wounds and helping them figure out what that looks like. And I just did a podcast with my homegirl yesterday, and we were talking about this. Like, man, everyone's path is so different. Like, you don't like somebody could say, "Oh, my back hurts," and for them it could be physical, but it could also be spiritual or energetic or emotional or something. And there's 27 different modalities and 27 different healers of each modality in Humboldt County alone, who can help them through that. And so I'm so excited that you're doing this, Amelia, and I am so happy that that we're coming together, because I feel like the other block I would say was just like being in my masculine energy too much, just like, oh, go, 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 do, like market, push it, and I think like being with other women is a powerful way of stepping back into this receiving mode and getting into this real kind of sexy, like magnetic, bring it to me. Like the people who are meant to work with me are going to come to me. That's always how it works. I have patience issues, so I'm like, let me go find you. I want to help you. But I think this is really powerful to just be in a space where we can all, I hope part of this will help us in stepping more into that like frequency of magnetizing the people who are meant to work with us. And I want to collab with everyone and send all my clients who like need psychedelic healing or womb healing or any of the things. Like, I want to have that resource book put together, be like, all right, go see my homegirl over here, this is the one that does it for you, like blah blah blah. So I'm super excited, and you guys are awesome, and I'm so glad you're doing this, Amelia, so thank you.
We love you, Allie.
Thank you, Allie. Ugh, let me just get you all back in there. So I'd love to know more about your path, and I know you shared a lot of details already, but like, I guess I'm really interested in like, what are you, because I know you have a well, you've been doing this obviously over 20 years now, and so you have a pretty established network of people. So like, walk us through what that looked like. Like, how did you put yourself out there back in the day?
That's a good question.
And how do you, because I know you have like an email list and you do that, and so like, what are all the things that you can?
Yeah, so one, honestly, just like after being in the community for so long, it was all word of mouth, which is really awesome. Before COVID, I couldn't even go anywhere without people I didn't know stopping me. Like, how is it that everybody knows me? I'm like, well, no, I've got flyers all over the town. So that was a big thing, is I made flyers. I would post them everywhere. Always have a stack of flyers in my car, because the flyer boards get messy and things get buried. So whenever I go to the grocery store, I just glance. Whenever I go to Eureka, I just have my little route. So like, part of it was really just being very diligent at keeping my material out there and present for people to see. Working at Humboldt Herbals, I have to say, was a really huge opportunity for me, because I connected with a lot of people in the community. I started teaching there, and I mean, after you start teaching at a place like Humboldt Herbals for 4 or 5 years, anyone who's interested in herbs eventually kind of knows your name. So I really built up a very strong community within the herbal realm here in Humboldt County. And but even though I very much identify as an herbalist, I always felt like I was having a hard time with customer compliance, getting customers to really commit to the routine of herbs, because you have to be consistent if you really want to get that physical healing. And I was always too afraid to really own my role in connecting people to plant spirit medicine. So I really stayed on the surface as an herbalist. I mean, of course, I studied Eastern, Western herbalism, and of course, I always brought in the Qigong and the mindfulness. So like, I brought in all the energy work, but to really like just kind of throw regular herbalism out the window. All like, not that I've thrown all my training out, because I use it all the time on a daily basis, but for me it was like, let me just throw out the textbook side of herbalism and just connect to plant spirit. And how can I do that in my practice? Because I was done trying to work one-on-one with clients on an herbal level, because to charge what I wanted to charge, people didn't want to pay that, and then I couldn't get the compliance, I couldn't get the follow-up. I tried selling packages, but I can't really afford that. So it was really hard. It was really hard to try to be successful as an herbalist. So when I started, that's why I actually started doing Tai Chi and Qigong. Because for me, I wasn't making enough money as an herbalist, so I think I could supplement my herbal income with Tai Chi and Qigong. And that was an interesting experience because for me being a teacher with plants, I got to hide behind the plants, right? I had a table, I had jars, you know, like I could sit there and talk all day long about plants, but there was something about being hidden behind that, right? So when I started teaching Tai Chi and Qigong, all of a sudden there's a mirror in front of me, I've got 20 people behind me, and boom, all eyes are on every single movement that I do. And I was teaching people who had been studying that form longer than me because I took over for my teacher, right? So all of a sudden I'm being criticized. Candice, your hand needs to be a little lower. Candice, you didn't step out far enough. You said this wrong, you said that wrong. And I was like, okay. So I just had to really work on my self-shame, my embarrassment, and tapping into humility. And whew, that was the lesson. And I just remember like when I would get feedback like that, I would just get like all this heat rising and I'm just like, I could feel my face turning flush. I'm just like, just remember your breath, Candice, and just breathe through. And I feel that energy starting to calm back down. It's like, okay, just listen, just take it in. How can you grow from this experience, right? And so I just took every lesson and I would just tell my students too, like, okay, this is something completely new for me. Like I'm having to learn how to teach Tai Chi. I'm a great teacher. But I'm having to learn how to teach Tai Chi and Qigong. And I got the hang of it after a year. The first year was a very interesting experience. I lost students, I gained students, but I had a lot of students who really just trusted me and saw my potential, which was beautiful. And because of my humility, I think that allowed me to grow more. And so I really just kind of honored that process. And that's when I really started bringing in the self-compassion. And that was my journey into self-compassion and self-acceptance and just accepting me for all my flaws. I'm a Virgo. So tapping has allowed me to become a recovering perfectionist. I'm imperfect and like perfectly imperfect, right? You know, I've been able to get to that place now, but that has been that was a 30-year-long journey, 32-year-long journey now, right? 35 now. So it's like, though it's really only been the last 2 years, I can probably say where I'm like, I can be okay not being perfect. Right, like I created an online course. My perfectionism for a long time, putting it out there, but it's like I finally got over it. It's like, let's throw it out there. It's not perfect and it's okay. And I had a few people register, it was great, but yeah, you know, like I'm not very happy with that course, but it was like that was my first step into throwing something out there online in the community and it not being perfect and just being okay with that. And I had to check through that. So I just kept relying on my tools to clear these emotional holding patterns. Like me, I'm ADD. So when I experience emotions, and I'm an empath, and I'm very, very in tune to energy. And so for me, when I experience energy and emotions, it's very intense. Very intense. So it's like I really have to do my tools and I have to do my work to keep regulation. But I feel like now, through all the inner child work, because for me, tapping wasn't just tapping. I had to go deeper with tapping because of my trauma. So intentional tapping could only do so much, right? So like I really did have to learn how to do inner child work, parts work, empty chair work, shadow work. I really had to like do all that integration. And that's what the last 2 years were, especially the last year in particular. And so now I really own and embody my role as an herbalist to connect people to plant spirit, which is why I started my Qigong plant spirit meditation class. That's something I wanted to start when I was teaching at Humboldt Herbal. So that was like 15 years ago. I wanted to start that class. I was too scared to put it out there. For some reason, I just had a block. Maybe it's just because the timing wasn't right yet, because I needed to get to the place where I'm at now to really hold that space for people to truly connect. And so for me, I'm like, it's just perfect timing. And now I'm obviously still teaching Tai Chi and Qigong, and that's my offering to one, keep me on my path, because I feel so good when I do it. And I will admit, I'm not as good at my practice if I'm not teaching, right? Because as a single mom, all my mindfulness moments are just moments, right? If I have a scheduled class, 2 classes back to back, I do 2 hours of energy movement. And for me, that's really powerful. And so I am finding that balance right now of, okay, I want to teach certain things that give me joy, that give me pleasure, that fill me like completely. But I don't, but before I was teaching 13 classes a week. So now I'm like, okay, I can just teach 5 classes a week. Is that what I'm at now? Yeah, I'm at 5 classes a week. That still sounds like a lot. Let's say that out loud. Now I have 5 classes a week, you know, and I'm really working on building my practice. And building my practice was a tough one because of the imposter syndrome. I was like, well, I have so much trauma, like, what am I going to be bringing in? And so I had to be patient with myself and just keep doing the work and get through the imposter syndrome and get through my triggers. And now I feel like as a practitioner, I'm like, yeah, I can hold space and I don't get triggered, or if I'm getting triggered, I can breathe through it and I clear it as I'm tapping with my client. I'm still holding space with my client rather than getting caught up in my cycle, right? And so for me now, the integration has always been key. So this is around like, okay, as an herbalist, I felt like that's what I was missing. I couldn't provide that. I couldn't provide integration. And so now, like, if I can get people to just connect to their intuition, their breath, their body, use my classes as the lifestyle support, the self-care that they can come to and use. I'm working on my online mindfulness programs. I'm trying to take all my online programs that I've done in the past and just pull out the mindfulness parts and the videos and create just a library of resources. So it would just be like a monthly online membership that people can just pay a small fee and they have access to qigong classes and breath work and tapping and things like that. It can just all be in one place. And so that's what I'm working on now, is having that as my online resource instead of trying to do all these different courses and have things in herbalism, because people are trying to get me to teach herbalism again. And I love teaching plant medicine. I love medicine. I'm also a medicine maker. I didn't even mention that. Oh my gosh, that's I'm a medicine maker. Speaking of which, I wanted to, before we do stuff, I'm gonna bring in some valerian flower essence for us because valerian is a wonderful, sweet, nourishing plant that helps us with any time we're have any kind of stress or worries or concerns around what is unexpected, the unknown. Right. And I feel like we're all kind of in this space right now where, you know, we all have this modalities, we have these gifts, but there's still that sense of unknown of like, where are we going with this? So I'm going to go bring in some valerian into our circle. I happen to have her with me because I'm carrying her with me everywhere now.
No, it's too loud.
The little one is mine. Yeah.
I'll bring a blanket next time.
Yeah. I have to wear my parka a lot.
I'm bringing on with the, I'm like grabbing at my feet. I'm more like, I didn't wear socks today.
Oh, that's probably why.
I always do your thoughts.
You wanna use my jacket?
So yeah, for me, it's just, we can bring in the plants, whether it's aromas, a sip of tea, smelling a plant, just connecting to it growing, or working with the flower essence. Just feel it's like such profound medicine when we get to connect to the earth energies and the plant energies and then bring that into the body to help us shift and the intention. So I'm just going to pass this bottle around. It's a flower essence, so it's diluted down in water and brandy, I believe. So I'm going to invite you to just put a couple drips on your wrist and just kind of rub it in with a nice deep breath. Bring it into your heart center. And then if you are very careful, just put a couple drips in your mouth. Just try not to breathe out so we don't get air going onto the dropper to keep it sanitized. So just take a breath in, hold a breath in. Do a couple drops. And then just set an intention with the plant. We all have our own intention, so just set that intention and we'll just take some breaths, bring it into our heart. Drop on the toughest of the alley. Yeah. Now we're going to give you a drop too. We're going to give it on the amethyst.
Yes, thank you, queens.
If anyone's not familiar with valerian, it's a very relaxing, calming plant. And it's often used for pain management, sleep, high anxiety, agitation and irritability that's caused by stress and anxiety. It's a very strong plant when you work with the roots. It's a very aromatic medicine. The flowers have a sweetness to them. When you want to see the flowers grow, there's tons of little tiny flowers, and they're white with a little pink, sometimes a little purple hue. They attract a lot of bees and butterflies. And the plant grows typically 3 or 4 feet, but can grow 5 to 6 feet if it's really happy and well established. Cats love valerian. My cats actually dig up the roots. Yeah, but it's almost the opposite. So instead of getting spazzy before they relax, they just get nice and relaxed. My cats dig it and they rub their face on it, and they get the oils all on their neck, and then they just collapse. And they just lay on their so my cats have a little cat garden of valerian catnip. But I'll pick the flowers and I will sprinkle them on my salads throughout the summer. So I'm just bringing that medicine in. And when you work with the flowers, it's more spirit medicine than the root. So the root, I think of as that's like the physical medicine. That's why I guess when they have insomnia, they have pain. They really need that physical medicine. But just for general, like bringing ease and a sense of acceptance into the body and flexibility and the accepting of the unknown instead of going into fear and anxiety around the unknown. That's all valerian medicine.
Interesting. I've been experiencing some feelings of anxiety, I guess you would call it lately. And I had some valerian last night, speaking of like synchronicities. And I haven't had it, like it's been in there since 2020. I probably it's time to go buy some new valerian, but it's almost like little tiny like pebble, like
Yeah, that's the roots.
That's the root.
That's the root.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just did like maybe like a teaspoon, and I steeped it for like 15 minutes, and I feel like it helped. I also took a bath and stuff, but I've been finding, well, it's just funny that came about, and now you're offering it. So I'm like, okay. The other thing I was going to say, when you are experiencing anxiety, have you found that I know like caffeine has been a kind of a big role in my life, and I feel like, and so do you find that that's the best thing to just kind of get that out of the way, like
usually really helpful. You can always try to bring it back in when you regulate the nervous system, but when the nervous system is out of balance, often caffeine just throws it more out of balance.
So this is something that could be utilized at night only, because this, if I know, what can be used in the day?
If you were working with the roots, I would keep that more in the evenings or more high anxiety. Like if you're in a panic attack, I always give someone like valerian if you're in a panic attack. It'll bring you out of a panic attack like that. Just really nice, without sedating them. Right. So it depends on your level of anxiety and your dose. Because if you have a tincture, you can give someone 2 or 3 drops of the tincture, and it's closer to spirit medicine than taking a full cup of tea or 2 or 3 full drops of medicine, just the dosage in the bottles, right? So we very dependent. So if somebody has a lot of anxiety, I would tell them to do valerian, but only do 1 or 2 drops of the tincture, or work with a flower essence. So when you work with a flower essence, it's just spirit medicine. You're not going to get knocked out from it. You're going to get that stress reducing ease and release through the spirit.
Oh, wow. I didn't know there was a difference between using the flowers, the spirit medicine, versus like the root, which is going to be, you said it's more of a dosage.
Yeah. When you work with the whole plant, or any parts of the actual physical plant, you're actually bringing in biochemical compounds into the body that actually have a chemical reaction within our cells.
So that's the difference of
That's
how
the difference.
flower essence. I never quite understood that. Yeah. So thank you for
giving me that differentiation, because I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, and then with like a tincture or a cup of tea, if you just did one sip or one drop, it's not enough biochemical compounds to really induce a physical reaction. You might get a little bit, but it's still closer to spirit medicine. So you're actually receiving more spirit medicine than physical medicine.
And then, so how do you use so that's when you set the intention, that would be more of the focus when you're using the flowers.
Or even when you're drinking a cup of tea, like always set that intention with your cup of tea in that first sip, the first, sip in particular, but I think of like the first three, power of three, right? So your first 3 sips of your tea, you have that nice deep intentional breath and you set your intentions, you have your gratitude. You always have to show the thanks gratitude, right? But you do that with these 3 sips. And then after that, I can kind of disconnect a little bit, go on with my activities, my day, or my other intentions. But like my first 3 sips of tea, or when I take a tincture, I might just do a few drops first, and I take a breath, and I just notice the flavor and just notice the effect, and then I might take a larger dose if I want that physical medicine. But I'm always trying to take that mindful moment to appreciate the spirit medicine before I take in that physical medicine. I always show appreciation for the physical medicine too, but the plant spirits, they're calling to us because plant spirit medicine was always the focus before. Right. And so now we've really just had like the last 100 or 200 years of focus on like plants as a physical medicine, right? When we started putting it in labs and studying it. And so the plant spirits are really calling, they really actually want to be used more as spirit medicine than physical medicine, even though they're here as physical medicine. And so I really do firmly believe that when we take the time to honor the spirit side of the plant, we're going to receive more physical medicine. And this is what I really struggled with as an herbalist, because trying to have these conversations with people who just wanted to like make their tea and take it on the go, or take their tincture and just move on, trying to get people to slow down and appreciate the medicine was really hard in our go society. And so that's what really led me into teaching mindfulness. Like, okay, well, I'll just teach mindfulness. Like, I'll just keep teaching, just teach all these different things to help people that I've seen them how but and yeah, so thank you, spirit medicine. Thank you, Valerian. Just take a nice big collective breath. Let's just set the intention that Valerian is going to just add to our release today and bring us that sense of comfort and ease, to trust and surrender into the unknown and unexpected. Just take another nice, deep, intentional breath. One more breath of gratitude for Valerian, and call in any other plant spirits that would like to join us or you at this time. Let's just go ahead and gently rub our hands together. We'll go ahead and speed it up, get some more mode. I'm going to just do some tapping. Is anyone here who has not done tapping before?
I would say I'm I'm a novice. Like, I've definitely been interested in it, but I haven't ever had a session or really don't have to practice it on my own.
Are you familiar with the points?
Like the meridian with your body? A little bit.
Okay. So I'll guide you through it. Tap on them. If you use 2 to 3 fingers, you're very likely to hit that spot, so you don't have to get exact, with the points. And you just start at the side of the hand. So there's a couple points that are helpful for us when we get stuck in belief systems. When we have very fixed ideas, right, or ideologies. So the side of the hand, and the other one is the sore spots right here. So if there's a time when you're just feeling really stuck, and these 2 points call to you, feel free to just tap on these 2 points or rub here. And that really helps with shifting energy that is just a little stuck and not really moving. So I'm going to take a nice deep breath in We always bring in acceptance statements as we're tapping on the side of the hand, because that's what helps to reprogram our brain and our energy systems to think and feel differently about.
Acceptance, you said?
Mhm.
So like, I'm worthy, like what, using that?
Oh, yeah, I'll change it up, so I'm gonna bring in a lot of things. Tapping is always best when we're using our own words. When we're tapping groups, we do tend to use general language, but for you, you're welcome to change the words to better suit you. And if you stick to my words, you're gonna get the benefits anyways, because we tap it. And I'm gonna try to incorporate as many words from all of us as possible, and I'll also use prompting pauses to where we just fill in the blank, so I'll kind of alternate back and forth. Doesn't matter. So the meridian pathways do travel on both sides of the body, so even if you're just tapping on one point, you're gonna stimulate energy on both sides. On the, you'll see a lot of people tapping like this on this part. I like to tap up, so I tend to do it like this. It's like a karate chop coming together. So, even though it feels like my journey is messy right now, and you guys can say this out loud. I am open to trusting the process.
I am open to trusting the process.
And surrendering into the unknown.
And surrendering into the unknown.
Even though I have all these amazing gifts to offer.
I have all these amazing gifts to offer.
And I'm just trusting spirit.
And I'm just trusting spirit.
I'm listening.
And
It's a little overwhelming.
it's a little overwhelming.
And it feels messy. Just describing and talking about what I do.
Describing and talking about what I do.
Just breathe into that. Just kind of notice what somatic feelings come up. When you think about talking, and we just all did it today, but just think about what comes up in the body when you're thinking about talking to people or explaining what you do. And you're just gonna take a breath into that, breathe in, direct the breath into that area of the body. And as you slowly release out, say, I am open. I am open to feeling acceptance for myself.
Feeling acceptance for myself.
Even though
Even though
I have this feeling in my body.
I have a feeling in my body.
Breathe into that feeling. Slowly breathe out. I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And I am open to the growth and opportunities to come.
And I am open to the growth and opportunities to come.
Now we're gonna go through the points. We're gonna use just reminder phrases. We don't have to say all that now. So we're gonna now just say, this messy journey.
This messy journey.
Breathe into that. Notice that feeling in the body. Corner of the eyebrows. This messy journey.
This messy journey.
What is it I really do?
What is it I really do?
Breathe into that. Side of the eyes. It's messy explaining what I do.
It's messy explaining what I do.
Breathing in. Under the eyes. Let's even bring in that language. I am in a transitional moment.
I'm in a transitional moment.
And I have uncertainty around what I am doing.
I have uncertainty about what I'm doing.
Breathe into that uncertainty. Where is that in the body? Very good. Under the nose. This uncertainty All the all the chin. Breathing in. Railing in my offerings. Fulfilling uncertainty. Breathing in. On the collarbone, all this uncertainty. All the unknown. Just notice that pattern in the body. Notice if it's shifting at all or if it's in multiple places. As you connect more with your body, breathing in under the arms. This is on the broad line for us women. Just letting go. Side of the hand. Even though I have this uncertainty. Breathing in. And I feel it in my feel it in my body. Feel it in my heart. I deeply, completely love and accept myself. I deeply, completely love and accept myself. With or without this uncertainty. With or without the unknown. I choose to accept myself. I choose to surrender into spirit. Breathing in. Go ahead and add an I release anything and everything else. All around. Let's go left, right, left, right. Breathing in, you can cross your hands like crossing. All this uncertainty. Breathe into that feeling in the body. I feel it in my heart. And I want you guys to sit a little bit more with the specific sensations. So go ahead and just describe it. You can say it, whisper it, you can just think it, but just notice the quality of this energy. Is it tight, constricted, tingly, fuzzy? Let's describe it. Continue to breathe into it. Notice if the breath can shift it. This feeling in my body. This feeling in my body. Go ahead and just gently describe these feelings. This tightness in my chest. Go ahead and do bilateral under the arms, left, right, breathing in. Describe that feeling. Just tightness in the chest. Let's do one more round before we do some eye movements. I want you to connect just a little bit more deeper into that somatic feeling. See if there's any colors or sounds or symbols that are affiliated with this holy pattern. Breathe into it, see what comes up. Even though I have this feeling in my body. Just think about these sensations. Breathe into them. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have these somatic feelings. Breathe into them. And I see Go ahead and just acknowledge any color or symbols that you might be seeing, like you hear a sound or anything like that, just acknowledge it. I choose to surrender into the growth and process. I choose to release anything and everything holding me back. Even though I have this holding pattern in my body, I am shifting this pattern. When I choose to release, I choose to integrate, and I choose to embody my higher self and trust the guidance of spirit. And I release anything and everything else. Breathe into that. Big audible sigh, releasing. So good, let's do that again. Top of the head, this color. The symbol. Breathe into that. Corner of the eyes. This color. The symbol, this holding pattern, I release anything and everything else. Side of the eyes, breathing in. Just breathe in, notice. Under the eyes, if you're having these shifts, start to acknowledge these shifts. So breathing in. My chest is not as tight anymore. Maybe that heavy pit in the stomach isn't so heavy. Just acknowledge whatever shifts are happening. Maybe the energy has moved. This energy has moved. This energy is moving out, right? I'm going to describe how it moved. Collarbone, breathe into that shift. If it hasn't shifted yet, imagine it shifting. How would you like it to shift? There. Under the arms. Breathing into whatever's still there. Now we're going to place the hand on our hearts. I'm going to gently tap on this area where the bones lead to the joints between the little finger and the ring finger. And we're going to go through some eye exercises, so just follow as best as you can. I usually do this right in front of someone, so it would be interesting doing this in a circle. But go ahead and breathe in, close your eyes, breathing out, open your eyes, looking forward, head straight. Breathing in, look down to one shoulder, keeping your head straight, stretching your eyes. Breathing out, return to center. Breathing in, return or go down to the other shoulder. Return to center. Now we're going to bring our eyes up to 12 o'clock. Really stretching up towards the ceiling. Nice slow circles. I'm going to guide you through the pace. One o'clock. Yeah, so we're going to circle our eyes with our eyes open. So we're at 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. Keep that pace, nice, slow, big circles, as big as you can make them with your head still. Breathing in and out. And just stay focused on that feeling in your body, on any thoughts that could be coming up. Just keep with your eye circles, keep breathing. You notice any spots where your eyes may jump or get stuck, go back and forth in that area. So you just hit that quadrant back and forth. Until that smooths out and we continue your circles. Let's do one more nice big circle before we switch directions. So when you get to 12 o'clock, go ahead and switch directions and switch hands.
Which direction?
So now you're gonna go the other way. You'll go from 12 to 9 o'clock. Slowly down to 6 o'clock. 3 o'clock. And then back up to 12. Nice and slow and big. Breathing in. Just noticing any feelings in the body, any thoughts. You may have events coming up from childhood. Just trust that you're clearing any patterns around this. Don't go into the event. Just let it flash through. One more circle. Go ahead and blink your eyes. Soft gaze, breathing in. Just kind of tune in with your body. You can stop tapping, maybe just cross your hands over your heart. Nice deep breath in. I just want to take a moment before we continue tapping to just check in with everyone, just see how we're doing. It's always good to just kind of rate how we're feeling. So we're going to use a 1 to 10 scale. So I want you to just tune in with that somatic feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very strong, 1 being very little, 0 being nothing at all. We're just going to go around in our circle and just say what our number is.
1 being no feeling
Or sorry, 0 is no feeling, 1 is just a little feeling. So sorry, we're going to use 0 to 10. I said 1 to 10, but it's actually 0 to 10.
Checking with our bodies.
Yeah. So you're going to check in with that holding pattern, that somatic feeling you're breathing through. So for right now, for me, like my chest is probably about a 1.5, almost a 1, but not quite. A little bit more to clear out.
I was in mind about 5. So quite a bit to clear.
Yeah, say 5 is easy.
I'm gonna say 5.
Okay. Under my right shoulder, a 3 or a 4. I felt it move, but I feel like the home, that it's still like the imprint of it still there.
And that can clear with integration or just more tapping. Sometimes the imprint will clear with integration. Because right now we're clearing that we haven't integrated yet. So the integration comes out as later. So that might shift. Now we just clear a little bit.
Mine went down a lot too. I think probably between 1 and 2.
Let's go back to the side of the hands. Deep breath in. Even though I still have this holding pattern in my body. Even though I'm still holding pattern. Just breathe in and notice that specific pattern for you. The tightness, the heaviness, whatever's there. I deeply, completely love and accept myself. With or without this holding pattern. With or without this holding pattern. With or without the messy journey. With or without the messy journey. With or without the uncertainty.
With or without the uncertainty.
Breathing in. Even though I still have this holding pattern. I have this feeling in my body. I do completely love and accept myself. And I'm open to releasing this pattern. May not all release today. And that is okay. That's okay. Because I've carried this pattern for a very long time. Just shifting it is profound. And just shifting it is profound. And it's okay if I have more work to do around this.
And it's okay if I have more work to do around this.
I accept myself anyway. I accept myself. Breathe into that. To the top of the head. Still have this feeling. I still have those feelings. It may get worse. It may get better. Either way, I love it. Accept myself. Corner of the eyes. I still have this feeling. Breathe into that. And the color is. Just breathe into any visuals that may be affiliated with this pattern. Notice any other sensory experiences, like sounds, taste. Side of the eyes, breathing in. Now you really go deep. Breathe into that feeling. It's still 5, a 1, a 2, whatever it is, breathe into it, breathing out. Releasing anything and everything. Under the eyes, breathing in. Just that unconditional acceptance. Doesn't matter if this pattern's here or not, you're breathing into it. Breathing out. Under the nose, breathing in. On the chin. Just notice the color. Notice any symbols, any feelings, any shapes. Under the eyes. Oh, you want to respond to me right now is touch and breathe. So we're going to start tapping. We're going to hold the points now. Breathing in. Just hold the side of the hand. This messy pattern. All the mess. Breathing in. What if it doesn't have to feel so messy? I wonder what that would feel like. Breathing into that. Curiosity. Bring in that curiosity. Top of the head. Just hold the point. Feel the pressure on your head. Breathing in. Lifting up. I wonder the possibilities. The opportunities. Surrendering into the unknown. What would surrender feel like? And just notice that in the body. Corner of the eyebrows, breathing into that sensation. Breathing out, noticing the curiosity, the wonder, the what ifs, the possibilities. Side of the eyes. What if this doesn't have to feel so messy? Breathing out. Under the eyes. Maybe it's okay it feels messy. You do live in a messy world. It's okay if my journey is a little messy. The nose, breathing in. Maybe healing is messy. Maybe it's not supposed to be clean and organized. Breathing in. Maybe the journey is supposed to be a messy journey. What would it feel like to surrender into that? We open to the palms, come down to the collarbone, pressing in. Give yourself a little hug, pressing in on those underarm points, breathing in. Let's rub on the upper rib. This is kind of on the brow line for us again. Right. This is liver, by the way. This is our liver points, so anger, frustration, irritability. Let's just maybe connect to any frustration that we've had around our messy journey. And just release and surrender into the messiness with acceptance. We're gonna massage our peace points. This is about 3 finger widths below the wrists. Just notice your heart space. Notice any tightness or maybe fears or anxieties or uncertainty. Just breathe into that. Releasing anything and everything that needs to go. Finger points. You're gonna have your hand up like you're shaking a hand. We're gonna tap on the area where the corner of the nail meets the flesh, starting with our thumb, breathing in. Embracing uncertainty. Having acceptance for all parts of my journey. Next finger, acceptance. This messiness of the uncertainty. Or sorry, middle finger. Breathing in. Prevents me from trusting and surrendering. We're gonna go to the little finger. This is on the outside. Breathing in. I release anything and everything. That prevents me from feeling acceptance. For myself, my gifts. I own my gifts. Yes, there's no imposter here. Breathe into that. Whatever imposter may be left, let it go. Breathe in again. Let's go to the other hand for symmetry. Breathing in. Next finger. Trust. Surrender. Acceptance. Love. Next finger. Trust. Acceptance. Surrender. Embody. And feeling empowered. Releasing anything and everything else. Little finger. Everyone else chime in something. What would you like to tell love? I am love. Beauty and grace. I am beauty and grace. Let's go to the sternum now. Let's tap all this into the heart space. What was that one? Oh, yes, I am feeling more in balance. Feeling more in balance. More trusting my intuition. Trusting my intuition more.
I call upon my guides and source of fire and light upon my dark path.
Oh, breathe into that. Oh, wow, just breathe into that. Oh, and let's take that even a little deeper, honoring where my community is at. My community is at. Honoring where my clients are at. My clients are at. Where my students are at. Where my students are at. Just honoring the process as a healer. Honoring the process as a healer. Honoring where I'm at in my journey. Honoring where I'm at. Move into that honor, that grace, that love, that acceptance, unconditionally for yourself, and at least anything and everything. One more time on the side of the hand. Even though there might still be some energy left. Even though I might get triggered and this might come back. Even though I might get triggered and this might come back. I choose. I choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. To deeply and completely love and accept myself. To honor the journey and the growth process. To honor the journey and the growth process. I choose to call upon my resources. I choose to call upon my resources, my guides, my ancestors, everything that supports me as a spiritual being in this human form, in this journey that I'm on. And I choose to connect to my intuition, my inner guidance, my love, my light, my integrated shadow, all parts of myself. All parts of myself. Breathe in. Two more breaths. Hand on the heart and belly. So I'm curious, these of you ladies who are out of 5, where are you at now?
Yeah, that really, was that the integration?
Oh, no.
Okay.
We set the pre-framing up for the
Yeah,
integration.
those I am statements were very powerful to shift, so I would say I'm like at a 4, definitely.
Like 2 now.
That was amazing.
I'd love to keep us going, but I know we're not telling myself.
Definitely more like a 3 because it was really tightened, so that really did help.
And as you guys just leave here today, I know it's kind of getting towards the end of the day, but of course, we all do our self-care, have a nice relaxing evening. If you get a good evening walk-in, that's good. Any kind of cross pattern movement is going to help with the integration, right? Any kind of, if you can do like a nice, bath tonight, salt water, like
bubble bath.
yes, yeah. Bring in some water, bring in that Libra air energy with your breath. Maybe then go outside and stare at the full moon. If we can see it tonight, you can at least great. I mean, you just pause. Yeah, do whatever you can, just really support yourself this evening, as that will add to the integration when you sleep tonight. Yeah.
I felt like I will go.
Okay, sorry. Oh, yes, the shower. Yeah, warm water. Yeah, water is really cleansing and will help facilitate clearing anything that's still kind of holding in these energy systems.
I felt like I could go a layer deeper, and I really loved honoring where I am at, my community is at, my clients, my students. That was like such a breakthrough of just like release in that. And yeah, that was yummy.
Thank you so much. I wish that we had more time to share these reflections with you, and I want to offer everybody to do that through text or email. So I really want to we have class that's starting at 7:15. So that's my bad, because I scheduled the end of this way too close. Class, I really wanted to have 2 hours. And I apologize to have to end, so abruptly, usually I like to have more. Good, a better backup. But thank you so much, that was amazing.
Yeah.
More of this, this tapping, with the full moon and the releasing, like, I'm feeling like more of that has to happen.
And I love all of your offerings, by the way, so if you guys want to do trades, I'm totally down for doing some trades, so.
Yes.
Think about cards too, we can, anybody has cards.
Yeah.
No, I should bring some next time.
I am feeling like something needs to happen to create a container where we can connect outside of the circle, to have those tradings and giving Candice some beautiful reflections of your experience with this tapping. So I'm gonna link us up.
Yay.
And I also had another part of the ceremony that I wanted to share that we don't have time for, so you have some homework for the the full moon, a little bit of another releasing ritual that you can do if you want to on your own. So yeah, thank you so much. Let's just take one last deep breath together just to ground, because we did a lot of, like, I feel the energy is very high. So we need to just come back down really quick. So yeah, place your hands here again, and this time we're gonna breathe light into the heart. So inhale light into the heart. And exhale, sending a cord of light down through the lower chakras, all the way down through Mother Earth to connect with the heart of Mother Earth. And feeling her grounding energy, inhaling back up into the heart. And placing the hands down on the earth. Thank you, Mother Earth, for your grounding, supportive energy that we have access to all the time. For all of you beautiful men and women for coming to share your magic and healing. This is so exciting to start with. Yes.
Hey, thank you.